Hello, folks. This is Jim Marshall from 911 Training Institute, and this is episode 3 of 911 Resilience during the COVID-19 pandemic. And I want to just jump in. This topic right now today, it may not feel very wonderful to you, but we have to know what is possible for us so we can do something about it, right? So I've entitled this episode, Identifying COVID-19 Stressors and How They Can Mess with Us Psychologically. That doesn't mean that you're going to experience everything I'm going to describe here, but it does mean that it's possible you may. And if you do, and if your loved ones do, at least you'll be like, okay, well, somebody did tell me that could happen. They did warn us about that. I'm not going crazy. And it also allows us a stepping forward point to what we can do about these things. That will be in the future episodes. That's where we're leading with all of this. But first, we're going to set the table by acknowledging what the challenges are, right? So here are the things that occurred to me, first of all, and then I'm going to add to it a list from our federal government. So see if you can relate to any of these challenges. We'll begin with fear and anxiety. Now, I mentioned in the introductory video that the challenge is that there's a loss of control here, a massive loss of control. So related to loss of control is fear and anxiety. That's that sense of something's bigger than us, something's foreboding, something is threatening, and so it spikes cortisol and other stress hormones. Well, what are those things that we're fearing right now? We can acknowledge this, right? Well, it can be worry for our children, worry for loved ones, worry for anybody who is most in jeopardy in terms of serious physical impacts of this. But there's also worry about how this is going to affect us financially, right? What about our work life? Can we work? How will it change our work? And many of us now already know the answer to that. We're living in the changes to our work, right? And at the 911 centers, we have part of our personnel and backup centers, part in the comm center, the regular comm center. So we've got a separation of people. There's concern for the first responders in the field. So we have dispatchers who are married to, partnering with, or at least deeply care about those who they're sending on scene, who are then in contact with folks who are positive for COVID-19. So there's great anxiety about that as well. And then in addition to that, we can look to, again, I had said in episode 2, let's choose our sources wisely, right, for news and information about COVID-19. So as a mental health guy, what's the first thing I do? Well, I go to my sites that are official related to psychology, and that's the American Psychological Association. And then I look for more information from our federal government, from scientists who are employed to help us explore these things. And so the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration, SAMHSA, is very valuable as a source of information. They came up with their own list of these things that we can expect might possibly happen within us or in other people. So I'm just going to run down the list. And folks, you'll find that any sources that I'm citing here will be included in the bibliography that will accompany all of this, all these episodes, and this whole experience, this whole course online at nowonetraining.net. So just bear with us as we assemble that and post it up online. So according to SAMHSA, there's certainly fear and anxiety related to things that I've discussed. What about your own health status? What about each time we realize we're having a dry cough or we're having other of the symptoms? There's anxiety about that. We're worried about others who we love who have they been exposed? What impact will that have on others who we care about and ourselves? There may be, guys, resentment that your friends and family might feel they need to go into quarantine as a result of contact with you. They might feel resentment, to clarify, for you. If you had COVID and now they have it, now they're going to quarantine and they feel that there's a loss of ability to work or perform or etc. And so let's just pause right here. What do we do about situations like this before I just add to the list of stressors, right? This comes back to the practicing the emotional code of acknowledging what we really feel, the distress we really feel, and reaching out to express it where we can safely you might be COVID-19 positive. I mean, folks need to have support for you, for sure, and especially if it's getting really serious. But I think it's important also to try to address with those you might have affected, not in terms of beating yourself up or going there to be pummeled by them, but to just have a frank conversation and offer apologies and acknowledge their own distress, let them vent as well. Because think about this, folks, we're already physically isolated. We don't want to be emotionally isolated from the relationships that matter most to us, right? Chances are these people who you might have infected or you might have been infected by, these are people who matter to you. We need to have a direct conversation openly, acknowledging what we need to and trying to repair hurt and distress and resentment that might be there. Okay, I'm going to cover more of these signs and struggles psychologically, the impact of COVID-19 stressors in the next episode. This is it for right now. Just give it some thought, right? Let's do the best we can with the information that we have and that we can provide you. So talk to you in the next episode. See you.